Hi again, everyone. I'm Ollie Matthews. This is Generation X Politics. No contribution with this video. And it appears we have some breaking news that directly affects this channel. So let me first just make sure the Rumble stream is running. It appears to be. Everything seems to be running. So here we go. So, like I said, breaking news. Let me just say this on YouTube and on Twitter and on Rumble, but especially on YouTube. Okay. The 2020 election was stolen. The 2020 election was completely and totally fraudulent. There. Huh. 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 YouTube reverses misinformation policy to allow U.S. election denialism. Gee, thanks. After you tried to give me 3 hate strikes, you struck one, took my ability to broadcast away from me for a total of, between the suspensions, appeals, because you can't, even though I won the appeals, won a couple of the appeals, my channel was still down for 2-3 days. So basically, after 11 days of being suspended, okay, for a quote unquote election misinformation, now YouTube is going to reverse the policy. In a reversal of election integrity policy, YouTube will leave up content that says fraud, errors, or glitches occurred in the 2020 presidential election and other U.S. elections, the company confirmed to Axios on Friday. Oh, it is actually other elections. Oh, Arizona was also stolen from Kari Lake and Abe Hamida, and probably from Blake Masters as well. So, through ballot harvesting, again, Republicans' own fault for not getting their ballot harvesting and their mail-in balloting operations in check, but there were unfair elections. Why it matters. YouTube established a policy in December 2020 after enough states had certified the 2020 election results. Now the company said in a statement, leaving the policy in place may have the effect of curtailing political speech without meaningfully reducing the risk of violence or other real-world harm. So what that means is we got another election coming up, and now we're really worried because the jackass can't even walk off a stage without face planting, and then today banging his head coming out of the friggin' out of Marine Force One, out of the helicopter. They need to be able to go back to saying the elections were stolen. Because that's the Democrats' line. That has been the Democrats' line every election they have lost since around George W. Bush. Definitely might have been some before George W. Bush, but George W. Bush, every election they've lost since George W. Bush has been stolen, according to the Democrats. According to the Democrats. 2 years, tens of thousands of video removals, and one election cycle later, we recognize it was a waste of time to reevaluate the effects we recognize it was time to reevaluate the effects of this policy in today's changed landscape, YouTube said in a statement. What's the changed landscape? Republicans are still saying all these elections are stolen. What's the changed landscape? The changed landscape is you got a demented pervert who can't stand up, who can't stop shitting himself, who can't stop losing himself out in public and wandering around. Now he's just continually wandering off stage, face planting and banging his head everywhere he goes. And his son's about to be arrested. And his son should be arrested. And his son's a criminal, China, the whole effect. And they got nobody better. They got to try to do a weekend at Bernie's with this guy. They got nobody better. So all they really have now they're going to want to go back to election denial. It's going to be funny when they try to send their own electors, to Congress to do what the Republicans tried to do, what the Democrats have tried to do time and time again after they changed the laws that you can't do that anymore. Wonder what they're going to do now. With that in mind, and with 2024 campaigns well underway, we will stop removing content that advances false claims and that widespread fraud, errors, or glitches occurred in the 2020 and other past U.S. elections. Here it comes. Because now Republicans, hopefully, and they're not really, because I'm not happy with it. Now Republicans are waking up to we better get on the mail-in balloting. We better get on the mail-in balloting. We better get our own drop boxes. We better do some ballot harvesting. So now the Democrats, now that we're going to be playing the same game, the Democrats need to go back to making their fraudulent accusations again. Doesn't matter they suppressed us. Doesn't matter they demonetized. Doesn't matter they labeled me election information. It doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't matter because the rules state they need this now in their playbook, so now they can change it back. I'm not getting my views back. There's no way to remedy the lost time. They're still not going to unshadow ban me. They're still going to do everything they've been doing in the past to suppress this channel and channels like mine. All they're doing is giving their side the shade now to go back to making ridiculous election fraud claims. Yes, but asked how YouTube was specifically able to make that determination, a spokeswoman pointed Axios to their statement. YouTube said that it carefully deliberated this change, but didn't provide further examples of what factors or instances it considered when weighing these decisions, because they can't. Because they're dishonest. Because they need it. They can't tell you, well, we're going to need this going forward, and we don't want to take election fraud out of our playbook. If they win, if they're able to steal another one, they'll make it again election misinformation, and they'll go back to doing the same thing the same thing they did before. Rules don't apply to them. Rules don't apply to them. They'll do what they want to do when they want to do it. And you'll sit there and you'll take it. The platform said it will provide more details about its approach to the 2024 election in the months to come. Details: the policy, which will take effect Friday, doesn't change YouTube's other misinformation rules. And we all know what that one is. The rest of our election misinformation policies remain in place, including those that disallow content aiming to mislead voters about time, place, means, or eligibility requirements for voting, false claims that could be materially discourage voting, including those disputing the validity of voting by mail, and content that encourages others to interfere with the democratic process, YouTube said. So you can't say it's not valid to, well, obviously it's valid to vote by mail because they're doing it. All we're saying is it's rife with fraud. It's valid. You can vote by mail. We're going to vote by mail. It's absolutely valid. Absolutely. In 2024, it's valid because those are the rules that were set. You got to play by the rules that they're playing by and force them to play by their own rules. Now they realize they're going to be forced to play by their own rules. So now, even though they took this out of their rule book and they used it as a weapon, this misinformation policy, on elections. Now they realize we're going to need this. We're going to need to cry about this to the media. We're going to need to do it when Republicans start ballot harvesting. So we're going to need to do it. They don't care how it looks. They don't care about the hypocrisy. They revel in the hypocrisy. The hypocrisy is part of the demoralization. It's all part of the plan. The big picture. Media companies and tech platforms are wrestling with how to balance curbing misinformation with freedom of speech ahead of the 2024 election. Finding the right balance has so far proven difficult. Former President Donald Trump and other elected officials have made election denialism a key tenet of their political platforms ahead of the 2024 election. They also, that's right, because you're not going to shut Trump up about it. You're just not. I wish he would move on about it and focus on ballot hard. I wish he would, but he's not. And it's going to be kind of hard to completely censor the Republican candidate for president. And he is going to be the candidate no matter what they do. If he's got to run from prison, he'll run from prison. Trust me. And he'll win the nomination from prison. Go ahead. Martyr him. Martyr him some more, dummies. CNN, for example, received widespread criticism for its own town hall interview with Trump last month. Trump repeatedly pushed unproven conspiracy theories about the 2020 election being rigged during the event, despite the moderator's best attempt to check him in real time. Is that what she did? Is that what she did? Is that what she did? She was checking him in real time. And YouTube will lift the restrictions on former President Trump's channel Friday. A spokesperson claimed to Axios why it matters. Restrictions that prevented Trump from posting any new YouTube videos to his account, which has more than 2.6 million followers for over 2 years. Catch up quick. And YouTube initially suspended Trump's account in January 2021, several days following the January 6th insurrection. After his account violated its policies for posting content that incited calls to violence. A month later, they also could be trying to get Trump to say something stupid on YouTube, say something stupid in a video that some fucking road prosecutor tries to go after him on. It's absolutely plausible. A month later, the company said it would lift the restrictions which prohibited Trump from posting new videos when it determined that the risk of violence had decreased. YouTube also took additional restrictive measures, such as disabling comments on videos on Trump's channels. Those restrictions will also be lifted. Details on Friday, YouTube's vice president of public policy, Leslie Miller, told Axios that beginning March 17th, the Donald J. Trump channel is no longer restricted and the ability to upload new content is restored. We carefully evaluated the continued risk, yada, 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 yada. Source at YouTube plans to inform the Trump campaign of its decision later today. And this is a link to an older article. This is from March. So there you have it. Well, that does no good, and it does no good for mine or any other channels that have been absolutely decimated by these people. Great. Now we could go back to saying, well, what everybody's been saying and everybody's already known. Okay. The 2020 election was completely fucking rigged. Completely and totally rigged. So there. I said it on YouTube. So maybe we got a little bit more freedom. Still hope this platform goes down in flames. So that is, they say, is that. And if you enjoyed this stream and you enjoy this channel, please support it. If you want your story read on the channel, you have a topic you'd like me to cover, something you'd like me to expose, you'd like to set up a Skype, a phone call, have a private video made, you'd like to sponsor a video like this for someone who needs help and can't afford it, or just make a contribution to the channel in general to keep it supported, I'm sorry. Hold on. Pardon for being off subject. You confirm what I had been saying about this all beginning with Woodrow Wilson and the Federal Reserve, all as well. It did all start with Woodrow Wilson. And honestly, you know who's the first to really call that out was Glenn Beck when he first started his Fox show at 5 p.m. He was all about calling out Woodrow Wilson, where the Federal Reserve started, what an evil son of a bitch he was. Evil. Communism got its foothold in the door through Woodrow Wilson. And that's a fact. So, but anyway, again, this channel sponsored 100% by you guys. Without you, all this goes away. So if you like what you see here and you want to see more videos and streams like this, you know what to do with either the Cash App, Zelle, PayPal, and email links in the description box below. Also, please like and share this video wherever you can. Subscribe to my channel here, both my channels on Rumble, and be sure to follow me on Telegram and Twitter as well. I'm Ollie Matthews. This has been Generation X Politics. Take care, everyone.